Clerk, please call the roll.
Good morning. Calling the roll for the Monday, February 28th Board of Control meeting. It is 11:01. Nan Baker. Here. Dale Miller.
Here.
Trevor McAleer serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones.
Here.
Nicole English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever. Lee Tucker serving as an alternate for the fiscal officer.
Here.
Catherine Takachek.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, if we can take a minute to review the minutes from February 22nd. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are no corrections, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Moving on to public comment. Is there any public comment?
There's no public comment.
And moving on to contracts and awards.
First item, BC 2022-114, Department of Information Technology, submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to MNJ Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $33,856 for a state contract purchase of 12 Microsoft Surface Pro tablets, 31 HP LCD monitors, 4 HP EliteBook notebooks, and related accessories for use by County Council, and recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Janelle Green on the behalf of the Department of IT. This is a purchase or procurement for IT or tax standard items on the behalf of County Council and staff. We chose to utilize the state term contract as they had great pricing and the likelihood of a quick turnaround on those items coming in so we can get them imaged and out to council staff as soon as possible.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item?
Just one quick one.
Councilman Baker?
The question was asked if there was going to be any issue of receiving this product. I know you said you don't know when they're coming until the PO is given, but do you have any sense, given how difficult it is to get merchandise, if you're going to have a problem getting these pads?
It is the hope not. Again, it's not guaranteed until we submit the purchase order and that solidifies their ability to send it over to us. To be honest, we have seen a lot of delivery delays because of the supply chain issues. So there's some purchase orders that we got approved and issued last year that we still haven't received equipment on. So we're hoping to have a quick turnaround time. And as soon as we submit the signed and approved PO to the vendor, we'll be able to let you guys know when we can expect the equipment in. Now, from there, once it gets in, we still have to image those items to make sure that we have the applicable county applications and things like that. So we're hoping for a quick turnaround time, but unfortunately, we can't know that 100% until we get the PO to the vendor and they can tell us what their inventory looks like.
Just a follow-up. If you've been waiting a year for some items, is there any concern that by the time you get these tablets, they could be outdated or something better came along? That
No, I won't.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't say that we've been waiting a year. So a lot of the POs that we got issued in around November of 2021, we're still waiting for some of those items to come. So it wasn't a full year. So and it all depends on what kind of processors were being utilized in those items. What we have seen, a lot of the docking stations have been on delay. But it all depends on the item type and where they're coming from. So we are not anticipating a full year, but we have seen a several month delay on IT items coming in.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any additional questions on this item? Hearing no additional questions, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on. Item approved. Moving on to the next item.
Next item, BC 2022-115, Court of Common Pleas Corrections Planning Board, recommending an award and enter into a contract with Oriana House Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $496,000 for cognitive behavioral therapy utilizing the Thinking for Change model for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023.
Good morning. This is Linda Lagoonzad with the Corrections Planning Board, and I am standing in today for Marty Murphy, one of our administrators of the board. The Common Pleas Court would like to enter into this new 2-year contract with Oriana House to provide cognitive skills development programming for offenders undergoing community supervision by the Adult Probation Department. Again, it's a 2-year contract period. The amount of the contract is $248,000 per year for 2 years, which amounts to the $496,000 in total. This contract is associated with an RFP process that occurred this past summer. The court reviewed 2 submissions in response to the RFP. That was Oriana and Passages. Oriana's submission was superior to Passages due to its extensive experience in providing the required therapy model, and because its existing staff members are actually certified to immediately implement that model, which was previously mentioned as the Thinking for a Change model. Oriana's staff will use the Thinking for a Change model developed by the National Institute of Corrections to teach moderate and high-risk offenders the cognitive restructuring, social skills, and problem-solving skills needed to become law-abiding and productive members of the community. Sessions foster social skills through modeling, homework, and role plays. Now, Oriana will provide 51.5 hours of service to all moderate and high-risk offenders and offer an additional 13.5 hours of booster sessions to high-risk offenders when needed. Oriana will run 5 Thinking for a Change groups each week. Sessions include an orientation and then 25 Thinking for a Change lessons. Oriana has not been paid for services associated with this contract to this point. And just to note, we know, yes, this contract is late, and the Corrections Planning Board accepted the state's funding for this program during its October board meeting, which was, 2021. And according to Marty Murphy, Oriana did not submit the remainder of its documents to our board until November 2021. And then there was some delay, I believe it was in January, related to our submission in Lawson. That we needed to provide additional RFP documentation that took some delay, but we managed to get all that information in properly to the satisfaction of the county procurement office. So that's it.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item?
Yes.
Councilman Baker? Councilwoman Baker? Or did-
Thank you. Yeah, are you all right?
Go ahead.
Okay. How we have the same. So the therapy, I guess we're at an advantage because even though this is late, I'm sure the services have been started. Is that correct?
I believe so.
So do we know from July 1st until March 1st, what kind of outcomes we've experienced and how the program's working?
That's a good question. I do not have that information. I can certainly relay that over to you if that's all right.
Okay.
I do not do the regular monitoring of this particular vendor and, going on site and such like that. So I'd have to go request Marty Murphy to provide that information.
And is part of the program to gauge the results? Do we keep track of those that leave and not come back as this program is desired to accomplish?
Another great question, and I'll have to touch base with our, again, with Marty Murphy on this matter to see what information is being collected, how we are collecting it at the Corrections Planning Board. So is that all right if I can get that information back to you?
Yes, I just think that we have the advantage now of having a few months under our belt, and we also should gauge, this is a new program, am I right, for Oriana House?
No, they provided it in the past, but we had started the whole process anew again and opening it up through the RFP process to see if any other vendors were out there willing to take on the program.
Okay, I'd appreciate the follow-up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So great bipartisan minds think alike. My questions, we're almost exactly the same. How long have we been running this program?
Well, this program under the new contract or prior years?
Prior years.
you know what? It's a couple of years. I don't have the exact number of years, whether it's 2, 3, whatever. There may have been amendments to their contract. Again, as I had said earlier, there was only one other competitor in the RFP process, and Oriana is the one in the area that has the expertise in this particular therapy model. So, but I'll get that information to you as well. I apologize, I don't have that in front of me right now.
So I was also very interested in the evaluation and outcome data, and in addition to Nan's questions, my question is also whether this model has been used elsewhere around the country, and whether we have data from other places where this model has been used as to how effective it is in preventing recidivism.
Yeah, great question. Also, this is a model, from what I have here, it's developed, like I said, from the National Institute of Corrections. It is an evidence-based model. So there would be data available on the success of this model, utilized across wherever it was evaluated in the country. So we'll get that information to you as well.
Okay, and thanks for the comprehensive presentation that you made when we started our discussion.
Thank you.
Any additional questions on this item? Hearing none, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item,
Thank you.
BC 2022-116, Court of Common Pleas, Juvenile Court Division, recommending awards and enter into agreements with various municipalities in the total amount not to exceed $41,600 for community diversion program services for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, with City of East Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $26,000, and with the City of Rocky River in the amount not to exceed $15,600.
Good morning, Tamika Bella with Juvenile Court. These are two cities who participate in our community diversion program, which is set up and designed to keep our youth from official court involvement. We did put this contract out for 2 years, and we're down to the bottom of the barrel, so we have 3 more forthcoming.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item? Hearing no questions, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2022-117, Office of the Medical Examiner, submitting an agreement with United States Attorney's Office, Northern District of Ohio, in the amount not to exceed $8,000 for forensic testing services for the period December 17th, 2021 through December 16th, 2022.
Shannon from the Medical Examiner's Office. This is our annual contract with the Department of Justice to provide them with their local offices with forensic testing. It is revenue generating.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item? Hearing no questions, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Ms. English. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item. Item approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2022-118, Prosecutor's Office, submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Dell Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $467,804.67 for a state contract purchase of a Microsoft Enterprise Agreement for various licensing and support services for the period January 22nd, 2022 through January 21st, 2025, and recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, it's Pete Seghetti on behalf of the prosecutor. This is our standard agreement with Dell, but for all of our Microsoft products. This includes all server operating system, desktop operating systems, and Office 365 email. So it's really the enterprise software that's the foundation of the office. And this agreement is redone every 3 years. So we're in that in the renewal phase of that.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions on this item? Hearing no questions, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McAleer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item,
Thank
BC
you.
2022-119, Sheriff's Department, submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Thompson Reuters West in the amount not to exceed $20,000 for the purchase of Clear ProFlex software subscription services for Law Enforcement Division for the period February 21st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, and recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Donna Cleel, Sheriff's Fiscal Manager, requesting approval of a purchase order. This is a not to exceed purchase order for $20,000 with Thomson Reuters. Thomson Reuters is a software program that is, excuse me, an investigative tool for our law enforcement division.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item?
Yes, my question is whether this is a new item or whether this is a product that we've been using in the past.
No, we've used this quite a bit in the past, but we paid for it previously out of our law enforcement trust fund. But now we need to pay for it out of our equitable sharing account.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions? Mr. McAleer?
Donna, good morning. Trevor Meckler. Could you talk just briefly about the equitable sharing account, what that is and what the revenue sources entail for that account?
The equitable sharing account is sees money at a federal level. And once it's seized and it goes to court, then it is forfeited if the defendant is found guilty. And once it's forfeited, then it is split among the agencies that participated in the investigation.
Thank you.
What's our balance in that account right now?
I think it's about 200,000.
200,000. 200,000, right, Donna?
Correct,
Okay.
right around that. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. English. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2022-120, Department of Health and Human Services, Cuyahoga Job and Family Services, recommending a payment on a purchase order to Ohio Job and Family Services Directors Association in the amount not to exceed $17,840.18 for membership dues for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022.
Good morning. This is Dan Basta, Health and Human Services on behalf of Job and Family Services. This is annual membership dues to the Ohio Job and Family Services Directors Association. The Directors Association provides best practices for any job and family services counties within the state of Ohio. They've been doing this for as far back as I've been here, since 2014. The reason why it's before the board today is because it's above the $10,000 threshold for membership fees. Be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions on this item? Hearing no questions.
Just one
Ms.
real quick,
McAleer,
sorry. Jim, real quick, the funding source, is that 50% federal? Is that the max we can use for membership fees, or how's that formula created?
For that particular agency, that is the max, Trevor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McAleer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2022-121, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, recommending a payment on a purchase order to Public Children's Services Association of Ohio in the amount not to exceed $37,062.44 for membership dues for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022.
Dan Basta again, Health and Human Services, this time on behalf of the Division of Children and Family Services. This is our annual membership to the Public Children's Services Association of Ohio. DCFS has a longstanding partnership with PCSAO. They run trainings. They also provide best practices in child welfare. In addition to a yearly conference, this previous year was under virtual circumstances, but they're looking forward to trying to have the conference in person this year. We've been doing this for the partnership with PCSAO has been around for as long as I can remember, since I've been here, 2014. Also, this is before the board today because it is above the $10,000 threshold. Be happy to answer questions.
Any questions on this item? Hearing no questions, I make a motion to approve. All those in favor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
We're moving on to exemptions. Item BC 2022-122, Department of Development submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in a payment to the Mount Sinai Health Foundation fiscal agent in the amount of $800,000 for operating support for the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition for the period February 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022.
Good morning, Paul Herdig with the Department of Development. I would like to note that we're here only on the exemption. Due to the dollar amount involved here, legislation will be introduced to council at its next meeting. We'll have a full hearing at the appropriate committee. This is one of a series of payments Cobb County is making to support the work of the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition. It is our intention to provide a total of $4 million over a 5-year period. We did provide $800,000 last year. And if there's any questions to be asked today, I'm happy to answer those. Also, I have with me Emily Lipovan, who's one of the key people involved in this work.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item?
Yes, I have a couple. And the first is can you describe the services that we're going to receive under this program?
Yes, Councilman, I'll go first, and then Emily may have further comments. This is general operating support for a very large, over $100 million combined effort, which has some substantial philanthropic and civic support from a number of sectors. In a very general sense, this is a comprehensive initiative to once and for all remedy the housing conditions that have been plaguing low-income children in Cleveland and inner ring suburbs with lead poisoning through a very comprehensive approach, including education, including enforcement of an ordinance that the city of Cleveland has passed, and including some funding for the actual cost of remediating the lead. Emily, can you add just a little bit to that?
I can. Good morning. This is Emily Lungard here on behalf of the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition. Thanks for having me. Paul, that was a great summary of the overall Lead Safe Home Fund. That is the conceptual umbrella for all of the resources that the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition has compiled to assist property owners, residents, and families in achieving lead poisoning prevention. Specifically, we intend to use the county award as we did last year, which is for the Lead Safe Resource Center. That is one large pillar of the Lead Safe Home Fund work. That includes community education and engagement, workforce development, the operation of a Lead Safe hotline, and additional free trainings for community residents.
And my second question is, how was the allocation of funding of $300,000 from the Economic Development Fund and $500,000 from the levy decided upon?
Thanks, Councilman. When we initially made a payment last year, we looked at the relative contributions in terms of a couple things. One was kind of looking at the purposes of the two funds. Economic Development Fund having a connection to workforce development and small business development, and HHS Fund having more of a connection to resident services. And while again, this is really general operating support, we felt that, thinking about all the things that money supports, which is training of a workforce, helping contractors to develop capacity, but also the educational piece and the outreach, it looked like about this breakdown more or less reflected the relative parts of the program.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Baker?
So it's good to see this moving forward. I guess my question would be, the ultimate goal is to eliminate lead in the homes of residences. And according to your backup note, we are in the second year of the initial five-year lead safe home fund budget. So what are the results from the first year? How many homes have you been able to remediate?
Thank you. I will go first and turn to Emily. Councilwoman, there will be a comprehensive presentation at the council committee hearing. Emily, if you're prepared, to give information now, please do so.
Yeah, just a general estimated number as to how many people we have helped, not just in training and information,
Right.
but how many homes actually have been remediated. Just that. You don't have to go into a big understanding of the program.
Thanks, Councilwoman. Happy to share some of our preliminary outputs. We are in year 2 of the Lead Safe Home Fund. It's actually a fiscal year that aligns essentially with the state fiscal year. So it began on July 1, 2021, and we're just about halfway through it. It'll wrap up June 30 of 2022 this year. So we have some preliminary outputs as of the end of last year, which is kind of only a partial year look. We'd be happy to come back to this body or county council to share those end of year 2 outputs when we have them. But in the meantime, I'll share a few numbers here. So as of December last year, we received 2,931 calls through the Lead Safe hotline. We attended and hosted 199 community events. We held 12 landlord question and answer sessions. We trained 344 lead safe workers. Paul was talking about that. We deployed close to $100,000 in lead safe certification incentives. Those are incentives purely created to help landlords within the city of Cleveland comply with the lead safe certification law. We touched touch points, as we call it, but interacted with 10,386 property owners. And we processed close to 1 million grants and loans in our pipeline. So I can get you specific numbers on the number of homes we touched, but individual grants totaled in the number of 74 last year.
Okay, I appreciate that. I know it's an advanced question and haven't had a chance to really give us the full scope of the program, but that will be a question that I will be asking specifically. How many homes are remediated? They're done. This helped them. It's over with. That's really the ultimate goal of the program. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to ask a follow-up question. You mentioned 1 million and a little bit more in various grants. Can you tell me what the source of those was?
Yeah, absolutely, council member. We use primarily state of Ohio and city of Cleveland dollars for our grants to property owners. Our loan fund is compiled generally of private sector sources. We have a number of banks and CDFIs in our loan fund. So that is where the overwhelming number of our grant and loan dollars come from in the Lead Safe Home Fund.
And what determines whether somebody gets a grant or a loan?
Essentially, their income eligibility. We have currently a 200 federal poverty level eligibility criteria set for grants, and then a higher sort of income threshold for loans. I will say, based on our research and experience of Cleveland property owners coming into the program, that 200% of federal poverty level encompasses the vast majority of applicants.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And just in preparation for the meeting coming up, I will also be asking about our progress with landlords and that are renting places that are dangerously have lead content, and what have we done, and what's our progress on trying to rein that into, and what kind of grants have been given or loans or whatever it is that we need to do to overcome that issue too. So I look forward to the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions on this item? Hearing no additional questions, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
We're now on the consent items, items BC 2022-123 through 125.
Take a moment to review. Are there any questions on the consent agenda items? Hearing no questions, I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Moving on to the next item.
No other business
Okay. Any public comment?
and no public comment.
Okay. I make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. English. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.